Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as Chair of the Counter-Terrorism Committee and on behalf of the Government of India, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to Mumbai and to the soft opening session in tribute to the victims of terrorism. The provisional agenda of today's meeting was circulated previously among the committee members and was agreed. In accordance with the agenda, I shall conduct the proceedings of this meeting. First, the wreath laying. May I invite His Excellency, Mr. Michael Musa Adamo, Foreign Minister of Gabon, as President of the Security Council for the month of October, to lay a wreath on behalf of the Security Council to commemorate the victims of terrorism, including the victims of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. I will now invite His Excellency Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister of India, to lay a wreath. I will now invite the heads of delegation from amongst the committee and the senior officials from the United Nations to present floral tributes. Her Excellency Ms. Shirley Ayoka Bochwe, Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of Ghana. His Excellency Mr. James Cleverly, Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs of the United Kingdom. Her Excellency Ms. Reem Ibrahim Al-Hashimi, Minister of State for International Cooperation of the United Arab Emirates. Her Excellency Ms. Maggie Fino, Deputy Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs, the Republic of Albania. The distinguished representative of Brazil, the distinguished representative of France, the distinguished representative of Ireland, the distinguished representative of Kenya, the distinguished representative of Norway, the distinguished representative of China, the distinguished representative of the Russian Federation, the distinguished representative of Malta, the distinguished representative of the United States, the distinguished representative of Ecuador, the distinguished representative of Japan, the distinguished representative of Mozambique, the distinguished representative of Switzerland. Mr. Vladimir Voronkov, Under-Secretary General for the United Nations Office of Counter-Terrorism. Mr. Wei-Xiong Chun, Acting Executive Director of the Counter-Terrorism Committee Executive Directorate. I will now request that all participants might kindly observe a minute of silence to commemorate I now invite His Excellency, Mr. Michael Moussa Adamo, Foreign Minister of Gabon, to read a statement. Excellency, you have the floor.
On this one. It's not the right paper. Yes, another one. Colleagues, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are meeting today in a place buried with indelible scars of abhorrent phenomenon that is one of the major threats to peace and security in the world. The terrorist attack perpetrated here 14 years ago reflects the barbarity that terrifies humanity in all regions of the world and constitutes the very negation of human values. Our response to terrorism threats must be firm and coordinated. In line with the UN Global Counterterrorism Strategy, we must collectively and urgently act to prevent and combat terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. We must prevent terrorism from acting. We must prevent terrorists from acting, depriving them of resources and exploring new perspectives of action to prevent terrorists from recruiting and depriving them of means to spread their barbaric ideology. As the threat evolves with the use of new technologies, including the increase of use of cryptocurrencies and the instrumentalization of social medias by terrorist groups, our response should be adapted. To be effective, our response should encompass at all levels and in a united manner, including through the full use of the 267 sanctions regime. Colleagues, by renewing the mandate of the Counterterrorism Committee for another 4 years last year, by unanimous vote on the members of the Council, we reaffirm our commitment to strengthening the capacity of the United Nations member states to preventing terrorism acts on the territory of each of our states and in the world by intensifying the exchange of information, judicial cooperation, border controls, and fighting against terrorism financing. In several regions of the world, particularly in Africa, the nature of national, regional, and international responses to increasingly recognized and overlooking terrorist threats make inter-regional and international cooperation crucial for effective actions against terrorism. This cooperation must not only focus on military and police interventions, but also adopt a holistic approach based on prevention. Indeed, the long-term threat posed by terrorists is the result of the ability of its hateful followers to operate in territories, markets, and places of expression where states have a weak moderating presence. In this regard, counterterrorism initiatives, particularly in fragile states, should be part of a broader program capable of addressing weak territorial, political, and economic governance to prevent violent extremist groups from legitimizing violence as a form of political expression or from making criminal profits from their participation in on an underground economy. In conclusion, I would like to reaffirm my country's unwavering condemnation of terrorism in all its forms and welcome the commitment and determination shown by the Security Council in the fight against terrorism, which in providing to one of the most serious threats to international peace and security. I thank you.
I thank His Excellency for the statement, and I have the honor to invite His Excellency Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister of India, to make a statement on behalf of the host country. Excellency, you have the floor.
Excellency, Mr. Michael Musa Adamo, Honorable Foreign Minister of the Gabonese Republic and President of the UN Security Council, heads of delegations of the UN Security Council member states, Excellencies. 14 years ago, on 26 November 2008, the city of Mumbai was witness to one of the most shocking terror attacks of our times. 140 Indian nationals and 26 citizens of 23 other countries lost their lives in a period of 4 days. In fact, this entire city was held hostage by terrorists who had entered from across the border. If much worse was averted, it was only because they ran into the collective resolve of Indian security forces, brave civilians, and the security and staff of this very Taj Hotel. All of them fought back valiantly in their own ways to ensure that the forces of evil were finally defeated. 18 members of the Indian police forces, 12 members of the Taj Hotel staff and security were martyred in the line of duty. As we pay tribute to them at this 2611 memorial site, we salute their valor and resolve. We all recall that the victims included ordinary Mumbaikars going about their daily lives at the Chhatrapati Maharaj Terminus railway station, the patients, doctors, and nursing staff at the Kama Hospital, the guests and staff of the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, of Cafe Leopold and the Oberoi Trident Hotel, the Chabad House where baby Moshe's parents were killed, and innocent bystanders on the streets. It was not just an attack on Mumbai, but an attack on the international community. Nationals of specific countries were identified before being murdered. As a result, the commitment of each and every member state of the United Nations to combat terrorism stood publicly challenged. Since then, we have endeavored to bring the masterminds and the perpetrators of this attack to justice. This task remains unfinished. Therefore, the coming together of the UNSC's Counter-Terrorism Committee to this venue is both special and significant. I thank all members of the Security Council and other member states who have joined us today in an expression of solidarity. Together, we should send out the message that the international community will never give up on holding terrorists accountable and delivering justice. 2611 will never, ever be forgotten.
I thank His Excellency for his statement. I will now request His Excellency, the Foreign Minister of Gabon and the Foreign Minister of India, to kindly proceed to the memorial book and sign the memorial book. Thank you. We have now concluded our soft opening session and tribute to the victims of terrorism. I now invite the participants of this ceremony to proceed to the Crystal Hall of the hotel to participate in the further programs. The soft opening ceremony is adjourned.